过去里面是不一样的，口感好，而且呢，还有一种那个。今年年初啊，习近平主席在今年到台湾通。
Former Chinese Premier Li Keqiang, China's top economic official for a decade, died of a heart attack on Friday at the age of 68, the Associated Press reported. Li Keqiang served as China's number 2 leader from 2013 to 2023 and supported private enterprise, but the move came after President Xi Jinping made himself China's most powerful leader in decades and tightened control over the economy and society. His authority is almost non-existent. CCTV reported that Li Keqiang, who had been resting in Shanghai recently, suffered a heart attack on Thursday. He died at 12:10 a.m. Friday. Li Keqiang, an economist who speaks English, was considered a contender to succeed then CCP leader Hu Jintao in 2013, but was eventually replaced by Xi Jinping. Xi has reversed the consensus-style leadership of the Hu Jintao era and concentrated power in his own hands, leaving Li Keqiang and the other 7 members of the party's standing committee less influential. As the top economic official, Li Keqiang has pledged to improve conditions for entrepreneurs who create jobs and wealth, but under Xi Jinping, the ruling party has increased the dominance of state-owned industry and tightened control over sectors such as technology. Foreign companies say they feel unwelcome after Xi Jinping and other leaders called for economic self-reliance, expanded counterintelligence laws and cracked down on consulting firm offices. Although Li Keqiang did not reach the unofficial retirement age of 70, he was removed from the standing committee at the party congress in October 2022. On the same day, Xi Jinping awarded himself a third 5-year term as party leader, abolishing the tradition of his predecessors resigning after 10 years in office. Xi Jinping has filled the top ranks of the party with loyal insiders, ending an era of consensus leadership and potentially making himself leader for life. The second-in-command position was held by Shanghai Party Secretary Li Keqiang, who did not have Li Keqiang's national-level experience and later told reporters that his job was to obey Xi Jinping's decisions. When Li Keqiang took over as deputy prime minister in 2013, the ruling party faced warnings that the construction and export boom of the previous decade of double-digit growth was waning. Government advisors believe Beijing must promote growth based on domestic consumption and service industries. This will require opening up more state-led industries and forcing state-owned banks to provide more loans to entrepreneurs. Li Keqiang's predecessor, Wen Jiabao, apologized at a press conference in March 2012 for not progressing fast enough on reforms. In a 2010 speech, Li Keqiang acknowledged challenges, including an over-reliance on investment to drive economic growth, insufficient consumer spending and a wealth gap between prosperous eastern cities, home to 800 million people, and impoverished rural areas. Li Keqiang is seen as having the potential to revive the market-oriented reforms of the 1980s led by Deng Xiaoping that ushered in China's prosperity, but he is known for his easygoing style rather than the stoic impatience of Zhu, who sparked a construction and export boom from 1998 to 2003 by launching painful reforms that slashed millions of jobs in state-owned industry. Li Keqiang is believed to have supported the China 2030 report released in 2012 by the World Bank and Cabinet Research Institute, which called for drastic changes to reduce the dominance of state-owned industry and rely more on market forces. State-owned industry is so inefficient that its return on capital, a broad measure of profits, is -6%, according to Lianjing think tank, an independent think tank in Beijing. Later, the Lianjing think tank was shut down by Xi Jinping as part of tightening information control. In his first annual policy speech in 2014, Li Keqiang was praised for pledging to push for market-oriented reforms, cut government waste, clean up air pollution and root out widespread corruption that was undermining public trust in the ruling party. Xi Jinping has stripped Li Keqiang of decision-making power on economic matters by appointing himself to the party committee responsible for overseeing reforms. Xi Jinping's government has launched an anti-corruption campaign and jailed hundreds of officials, including former standing committee member Zhou Yongkang, but the party leadership is ambivalent about the economy. They failed to deliver on dozens of promised market-oriented reforms. They have increased the dominance of state-owned banks and companies such as energy. Xi Jinping's government has opened up some industries, including electric car manufacturing, to competition from private and foreign companies, but they created state-owned national champions and encouraged Chinese companies to use domestic suppliers rather than imports. Businesses, households and local governments are borrowing more, pushing up debt that economists warn is already dangerously high. In 2020, Beijing finally tightened debt controls in the real estate sector, one of China's largest industries. This triggered a decline in economic growth, falling to 3% in 2022, the second lowest in 3 decades. Li Keqiang showed political talent during his tenure as governor of Hunan province and later as party secretary, but showed little enthusiasm for reform. This populous central Chinese province was hit by 3 fatal fires between 1998 and 2004. 3 fatal fires broke out while Li Keqiang was in Hunan. On Christmas Day 2000, a fire broke out in a nightclub, killing 309 people. Other officials were punished, but Li Keqiang was spared. Li Keqiang oversees China's response to COVID-19, which was first detected in the central city of Wuhan. Then China imposed unprecedented controls, shutting down most international travel for 3 years and restricting imports and exports in major cities for weeks. In his last major official action, Li Keqiang led a cabinet meeting and announced that antivirus controls would be relaxed to reduce disruption after the economy fell by 2.6% in the second quarter of 2022. 2 weeks later, the government announced that most travel and business restrictions would end next month. Li Keqiang was born on July 1, 1955, in Anhui Province, eastern China, and became party secretary of a commune there in 1976. He studied law at Peking University and was secretary of the ruling Communist Youth League, an organization that paved the way for the political careers of former party leaders Hu Jintao and Hu Yaobang. He was a member of the League's Central Standing Committee, indicating that he was considered a future leader. According to the Central News Agency, in 2020, General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Xi Jinping set the goal of completing the comprehensive poverty alleviation and building a moderately prosperous society within the year. At the end of the 2 sessions, on May 28, Li Keqiang said at the subsequent Prime Minister's press conference that China's current per capita annual disposable income is 30,000 renminbi, but there are 600 million people whose monthly income is only 1,000 renminbi. This has caused the outside world to doubt how to achieve comprehensive poverty alleviation this year, which has led to the association of differences between Xi and Li. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from Understand China, and thank you for tuning in.